friends, it's Nancy, and I'm back to do some more work on What Else Christmas. So you're seeing a bunch of papers here. I cut some stamps a while back, and they were in these old envelopes. The envelopes were nothing special, but I didn't want to waste them, so I tea-dyed them, and now I'm just tearing them down into squares and rectangles, and even some smallish ones, because sometimes you just need the very smallest piece to fill in a hole. And actually this stuff was all in my collage bowl. So needed to get used. So there's some variations in color. Not all of these are envelopes. Some are, that's a paper bag. That's some tea-dyed that's had plastic lace on it. I think this is just plain paper. So I don't even know what to do with this. I don't mind that one side is not, well, it's torn, but it's not torn with the torn edge of my tearing ruler. Like, it's been torn where the fold line was on the flap of the envelope. Because it's going to be covered one way or another. It's either going to be the edge of the page that I'm collaging, or it's going to be on the edge of the piece underneath another torn edge. Does that make sense? My brain has not been working. Yeah. Today, the end of the day, the last hour and a half, oh my gosh, everything I tried to do was wrong. Trying to write a fax machine, oh my god, a fax number, and I messed that up a couple of times. I was writing a letter to a doctor, and I wrote his name and then wrote date of birth, like I would be doing if I was writing about a client to a doctor. And then I'm like, oh, I wonder what his date of birth is. Oh, wait a second, I don't need the doctor's date of birth. It was just crazy. And my student said, yeah, go home. So I managed to finish what I was doing. I sent a couple of faxes. They didn't go through, so I'll have to do them again in the morning. But I suspect that I wrote the numbers wrong. Yes, we still use fax numbers here because of privacy guidelines. We can't use, in general, electric means of transportation. Transmission. Wow. So thankfully I'm doing something plain and simple right now. This is an image that I cut from an Ideals magazine. And I just did a collage on the back of these kinds of things. And I was working on this morning before work. I actually had to take Doug. Here's another one. I came from an Ideals magazine, so I'm just going to work on that while I yammer on about poor old Doug. Anyway, I had to take him to drop him off at the hospital this morning. He had his stent removed, and he says he already feels a gazillion times better. So that is a relief, because I've had enough. I was starting to get very worried about him because he said, I just plain don't feel good. And I thought, is there something else going on here that I should be concerned about? But here you have it. So you see I'm putting the flat side against, like this needs to be trimmed down, of course, and it will be after I get this all on. So it's okay if there's one or two straight lines. Wait a minute, I'm going to put you down first. And I'll put you on top. And then like that, like so. I just thought that this was kind of a fun way to strengthen the single sheet of paper, you know, to make it suitable for a journal card or something of the like. And at the same time, make it a plain background so that you can write on it. So I must confess that this was inspired by Roxy's weekly challenge from yesterday. I did her challenge using book page collage kind of stuff. There's a picture on my Instagram if you want to have a look at that. And I've used this technique in the past for making journaling spots, but it's been a while. It's been a minute. I think that'll work. It's just the right size. There we go. So I'll just set that aside. Oh, let's do another one. Isn't he a scary looking troll? Instead of a merry old soul, he's a scary old troll. Okay, I'm gonna put you, cut off some of this extra stuff. So this is a picture of the front of a magazine, and I'll chop it down so that it doesn't have the pages, what have you, square it up. So the other, I don't know, 2-3 videos ago, I started talking about the border opening up again. And I was thinking, you know, if New York, Western New York was smart, they would talk to their hotels and restaurants and say, you know what, instead of offering, you know, like this time of year, hotels around Niagara and whatever, they will have like specials. So book for 2 nights and get $100 meal vouchers and a bottle of wine in your room and, you know, tickets to various nearby sites. You know, instead of doing that, just offer PRC testing. So that's my genius idea. So if anybody watching has any connection to tourism in Western New York, tell them that's how you're going to bring Canadians back over to rejuvenate the tourist industry in and around Niagara Falls and Buffalo, etc. That's my $1 million idea, people. Because I did look to see if there was relatively inexpensive options in the US for PCR testing, and there aren't. In fact, if anything, the PCR testing was more expensive, because when I say it's $150 here, it's the same price in the US, except it's in US funds, which are worth more than the Canadian dollar. So it's actually more expensive. But I found a clinic here that does testing for $75. And I thought, what if I did that? Got the test here because it's good for 72. Yeah, well, you have to have tested negative within the previous 72 hours. So if I'm just going over for 2 nights, so let's say I have it done on Wednesday, I leave the next morning, spend Thursday night, Friday night in the US, and then come home Saturday. So that's Thursday morning. Well, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday would still be in that 72 hours, I think. There's just one little spot there that's kind of showing a little bit. So that's what I was going on about and then got distracted. There. This one didn't get torn. We need to tear you. I like my little 6-inch rulers for little jobs like this. It's easier to maneuver. So this is just time to craft along. I hope you've got something going on your desk so that we can have a little chit chat, discuss what's going on in the world. And all my genius ideas for resurrecting the tourism industry. I think this one is from a book. Penhaligon's Scented Treasury of Verse and Prose. This one I've already cut down, so I'm going to have to overlap the edges slightly. Not a big deal. There is a grocery store across the street from my office. Well, there's a mall, actually. And, I need a tall, skinny piece. So sometimes instead of taking a lunch hour, I'll go over to the mall, see what's going on. There's a thrift store over there too. Not in the mall, but next to the mall. So I popped over there today, had a look around, and I thought, well, I should grab something for lunch so I'm not stupid all afternoon, even though I was. And I got a tuna sandwich of all things. And I'm telling you, that was the best darn tuna sandwich I've had in a long, long time. And I was thinking to myself as I was driving home tonight, I'm going to have to stop and ask them what kind of bread they use, because that bread was delicious. I think I'll do it this way. Just the little things, you know. I don't need any big excitement in my life. Just a nice hunk of bread and a good old sandwich. And then, you know, that's just enough to, you know, give me all day pleasure. Let's tear your edge a smidgy brew. And, you know, being as food motivated as I am, oh poo. That was worse. I was hoping for a really good tear. Well, today was exactly 1 year since my dear old Nan departed at the ripe old age of 103. So I've been thinking about her today, as I often do. She was a good old girl. Oh, I wanted to do something else. One more, and then we're going to do something else, because this has got to be as boring as watching paint dry. But it's so relaxing. Yes, back and forth. That'll fit. Might as well. We'll add a couple of little ones to break things up a bit. No. This one you can see right through, but I can layer something on top of that, that's for sure. Again, not a torn edge. Right there. And if you're worried about these things coming up, just take your credit card or gift card or squeegee tool or whatever you have and give it a good squish, and there's no air bubbles. It's perfectly flat and it will dry perfect. All right, so that's enough of that. All right, so I was watching a video that involved Christmas journals, and I am completely stealing an idea if I can find paper. So the person, her name was Lisa. Oh, I don't know anymore. I'll look it up. Her name was Lisa anyway. And okay. These all have, I wanted it to be either plain on the back or two-sided. And these have all got little fingers on them, so I'll have to put these away. Well, that's rats. That's rats. Okay. Anyway, got that. Now I need my envelope punch. Okay. So the way, let's get this out of the way. Push it up. The way I saw it, let me just draw a little. And sort of roughly draw what I saw. Okay, I don't know how well this is going to show up. But let's say this is the page. So there was an envelope here, an envelope here, and an envelope here, and they were all stacked on top of each other like that. And then there was sort of like an embellishment there. So I'd like to try to copy that for this journal. So being that this is just about 5.5 inches, the pages are just about 5 3/4 of an inch across. So I'm going to want to keep this one sort of 3 by pretty tall. So like maybe, what's this? This is 9.5 by 4. So a little narrower than this business envelope. Yeah. Yeah, so let's see if we can do that. I don't even know if we can do that. What does this say? So, if I wanted a 3 by, oh, there's a 3 by 8.5. Okay, so if I went 3 by 8.5, it would be, paper size would be 9 3/8 square. So those aren't going to be big enough. I will have to use this one. Okay. This is where it all gets tricky. 9 and something. It says 9 3/8. I'm just going to turn it because there's a little tear there. 9 3/8. Junk Journal Gems. That's what her name was. That's what it was, and it was a Christmas journal from last year. It just came up as a suggested in my YouTube feed. Okay. Now we got 9 3/8. So it says 2 3/4. Okay. 2 3/4. And then turn. Oh, I didn't score. 2 3/4 and score. Okay. I'm doing something wrong, aren't I? Two 3/4. What am I doing? Oh! Okay. I did this, then I turned it 90 degrees, and you're supposed to line it up. And this is near impossible because I can't see it. Okay. And then line it up with the score. And then I don't know if I'm in the right place. Okay. So this is going to have to be trimmed. Okay. Okay. So let's cut some of this off. So that will go there and there, right? I need to round this. Oh, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. What have I done wrong? All right, let's not talk about this anymore. There we go. Okay. So there's the first one. Now, next one, we want a different size. So if I want it to be like 3 by 6, this was 3 by 8 3/4. That ain't no 8 1/2. That's 8 3/4. 3 by 7. Let's do 3 by 6 1/2. 3 by, okay. Well, if I do 3 by 7, that is 8 3/8 inches square. And I think I can get 8 3/8 out of this. No, I can't. I can get 8 by 8 though. Okay. Okay. So this one, I do 2 3/4 again. Okay. 2 3/4. Score. Okay. Now I match up the score line like so. Oh, I didn't score it. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to take a little bit off again. Now 2 inches is probably plenty. Good enough. And then put this in the right hole. Round. Round. Oh, he must be feeling better. He's singing away. Let me just shut this down while I tell him to shut up. Okay, he's been yelled at. So I've got this one done. Got little robins in it. It's cute. This one I'm gonna do 4 by 4.5 by 5. So I have to put it at the 3 7/8 mark. And then turn. And then turn. Okay. I think I can round all these corners. Okay, now, bearing in mind that I haven't inked these, I haven't decorated them, let's just see what this may or may not look like. Oh, there's a nice blank page. So we have a tall one there. And then this one here. Or do I want it this way? Maybe it looked better on an Okay, I like that one. I like that one. I think I'm going to have to make one sort of like that. It could even be the same size, just placed lower. No, because it's the width that I'm having problems with. Can I get it any narrower? What does it say? Huh. Let's experiment with this one. So this is going to be the prototype. I already messed it up, so it's got a great big score line here. Okay, so if I wanted it to be a 1/2 inch narrower, I'm glad I'm talking this out because it makes it so much easier. So I just move it that way and score. Okay. Okay. Now, okay. Let's see. We'll see. Okay. Okay. Now, I don't know if I'm doing this right. Oh, okay. Let's find the center. Okay. That makes sense. If we find the center, okay. So it's about just about 3. Well, this is really complex, isn't it? Where's my little one? That one's way off. Oh, no, it's not. I didn't have it. Okay. Gotta take some of this off. Like that. All right, this isn't a game. Serious. I might be able to use this. Here I was thinking it was just going to be a rough cut, but I might actually be able to do something with this. This end will be covered. This side will be covered. And I can just erase this. I'm just going to take a little bit of that off, maybe 1/4 of an inch. I would have been better off using just a piece of paper and folding it into some kind of a shape myself, rather than trying to use this. I'm going to cut this down a bit. All right, so I'm going to pause now. I'm going to ink these up, get them organized, and see if it looks like something that I can bear to have in my journal. That sound fair? All righty, I shall return. Okay, so I ended up making a smaller envelope. Once I got these down and I put that on top, it was just, it might have been okay, but I wanted you to be able to see the length of the envelopes. So I used some little cutouts from this same paper collection, and don't tell me I glued it. No, I did okay. And so I just sort of half glued that on so that they would Oh, come on, Nancy. You didn't. Did you? Oh. This one I did okay. Okay, I can fix that. Maybe. Leave it with me. We're almost coming on an hour. Let me stick this in here so I remember to fix that. And I made there. I made this morning. So this is a vintage gift tag, and I just wanted to sort of use it like maybe I'll put it right there. And maybe I will just glue the top and the side and let that ribbon hang over just a smidge. And then it can be a tuck spot. Like I could even use this envelope in here if I wanted to. Well, I guess it's the same size no matter what. Wasn't it? No, it was shorter one way than the other. And I did have a little circle for that too. Maybe I put it inside? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Oy vey. So the reds and the greens, they all look good together. A little bit of lace, a little bit of ribbon. Okay. So we've had an hour to craft together. I hope you thought that was fun and you got something accomplished too. I'm going to see what I can do to fix this. I feel like what I'm going to do is either cut a little, oh, this is going to be difficult. Cut a little, like 1/4 of an inch around, or I can patch. Oh, what was I doing? Okay. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I put this little fussy cut. This was actually from an article in a magazine about Christmas cards. And I was able to cut out a whole bunch of tiny little Christmas cards, like reproductions of Christmas cards. And originally I was going to put a vintage Christmas seal there, but I thought these colors match kind of cute with that. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you again soon.